Hi, everyone. Today it's Sunday, October 26, 2025. We're going to talk about the Platform Sutra, the chapter of Samadhi and Wisdom. So last time we ended on something like this. Chan understanding of Samadhi is Samadhi and wisdom are simultaneous. That is when the mind does not follow condition. That is Samadhi. Why can't the mind remain unmoved? Because one realizes there's no reason to give rise to I and its vexations. When vexations do not arise, that is wisdom. And since wisdom and Samadhi are inseparable, that is also Samadhi. So you understand what mind follows condition means and what mind does not follow condition means. Very good. Then you understand Samadhi and Prajna are one. And the talk was ended here last time on October 12, 2025. So what does environment follows the mind mean? This is not easy for ordinary people to attain. So let's explain this phrase. The environment follow the mind. It means that the external environment changes according to one's mind. When people hear this, they often imagine some miraculous power, as if one could turn iron into gold or instantly transform the world outside. For example, if we advocate environmental protection and all we think about keeping the environment clean, would the world around us automatically become pure and spotless? Of course not. And that is why people misunderstand this phrase. This teaching is not self-deceptive or fantasy. It is not like saying, I'm living in a thatched hut, but I will tell myself it's a skyscraper. Or I'm hauling stones and bricks, but I will imagine I'm moving gold and diamonds. That would just be lying to yourself, wouldn't it? Everyone can see you live in a hut and carry stones. To call them diamonds is not environment following the mind. It's self-delusion and self-hypnosis. For those with deep cultivation, however, the environment follow the mind becomes possible. Imagine one calm, clear-minded person in a household. Because of their stability, the entire family gradually becomes peaceful and stable. Consider this: if a house catches fire and everyone panics, but one person stays completely calm, saying, don't be nervous, listen, here's how to put out the fire, and how to escape safely. That calm person can save many lives. If everyone panics, all may perish. If even one person keeps a steady mind, perhaps 80% could escape. Only the remaining few may depend on luck. Would you rather everyone panics or die, or let one calm mind guide the rest? Is a power of one person's mind influencing the situation, the entire situation? Ordinary people, everyone was doomed, but because of that one calm person, most survived. Do you believe that's possible? Are you that kind of person? Among our disciples of Master Seng Yen, many have shared family problems, husband and wives on the verge of divorce, sibling or parents and children in conflict. Some say, I believe in Buddha and recite Guan Yin's name. So Guan Yin Bodhisattva should save me. But after months of chanting, the conflicts remain. Then they come to our teacher and say, Master, I recite Guan Yin's name, but nothing changes. We still fight. What should I do? Then our teacher tells them, it's not that Guan Yin is ineffective. It's that you are ineffective. You must transform your own mind. When you chant Guan Yin's name, learn to become like Guan Yin, compassionate, gentle, and patient. Then your situation will change. Well, let's see an example. A wife once came to our teacher. Her husband was terrible. He drank, gambled, womanized. And when he came home, he scolded and beat her and the children. She asked our teacher, what to do. So our teacher told her, chant the name of Guan Yin Bodhisattva. Don't worry about your husband. Just focus on your chanting. Recite the great compassionate mantra or Guan Yin's name 200,000 times. It will work. After half a year or so, she returned and said, thank you, Master. And our teacher asked, so it worked? And she said, yes, very effective. And then our teacher asked, so your husband no longer drinks, gambles, or chases women? And she said, no, he still does all that, but he doesn't scold me anymore. Then our teacher asked, why? And she said, because I stopped scolding him. Our home used to be full of fighting. Now it's peaceful. So she felt her chanting was effective. So now, was that the mind of following the environment, or the environment follow the mind? It was environment following the mind. And this is not self-deception. When your own mind changes, your surroundings will naturally change. That is why practice truly works. There is response and transformation. But don't rely on blind faith in miraculous responses. Change your mind first, and the response will surely appear. So there's a saying of, if you chant with the mouth but not the mind, you will still follow conditions. So suppose in an office, the manager or the staff are all emotionally unstable and irritable. Would that office be happy, relaxed, or comfortable? Of course not. It would be full of tension and suffering. But if the manager or even one staff member is calm, patient, and kind toward others, the entire atmosphere improves. Even if the pay is low, people won't want to leave such a workplace. In another company, you might earn more. But if everyone is angry and tense, life there would be miserable. So, in any family, if even one person maintains inner peace, the children become filial. The spouse and parents benefit from that person's virtue. Likewise, in an office or organization, if you remain centered and stable, you will influence many others, even if you are not supervisor. And this is the environment following the mind. It's not magic. It's something we can train and realize. That is how the platform sutra becomes meaningful in daily life. Otherwise, you might just memorize its verses. When the wisdom function, samadhi is present within it. You could recite them perfectly, but if someone disagrees with you and you immediately argue back, then all that recitation is useless. And our teacher said once, after he gave a lecture on true and false, which is the title of the lecture, someone jokingly asked him, Master, are you true or false? Then our teacher said, what do you mean? And the student said, I mean, was your talk true or false? Then our teacher said, if you think it's true, then it's true. If you think it's false, then it's false. I myself I am neither true nor false. I can be either, depending on the need. actually, in worldly matters, there is no absolute truth or absolute falsity. And that is the Buddha Dharma. Then comes, what does the when let the mind arise without abiding anywhere mean? Or we say, without abiding, the mind manifests. So this sentence is the key point of the Platform Sutra. Let the mind arise without abiding anywhere. This was discussed when speaking on the Diamond Sutra. And earlier in this Platform Sutra lecture as well. It is the central point of the Diamond Sutra, and likewise the central point of the Platform Sutra. In without abiding, the word abiding means attachment, being influenced. Non-attachment means not arousing discrimination of good versus bad, right versus wrong, acceptance versus rejection, love versus hate. In short, not clinging to any dualistic standpoint. Such clinging is what is called abiding. Then, not abiding in affliction, yet the mind still functions. And during a 7-day Chan retreat, our teacher explained that in non-abiding, one should not harbor a dualistic, grasping mind. That is attachment. And American participants went to the restroom. The restroom had a long line. The women's room had none. So he plunged into the women's room. Someone reported, "Master, he went into the women's washroom. He broke the law, the rules." So our teacher waited for him to come out and ask, "Did you enter men's room or the women's room?" He said, "Non-abiding." Then our teacher replied, So when he said non-abiding, then our teacher said, "Non-abiding, is that so?" And using the incense board to tap it once, he protested, "Why did you hit me?" I said, "Non-abiding. If you are struck, don't fixate on having even none having been hit on, no, I'm sorry. Don't fixate on, let me see. Yeah, don't fixate on having been hit or on the pain. Don't form that mind." Non-abiding, right? It's easy to say it with the mouth, Do you really understand? What our teacher meant was, don't differentiate male and female. I'm cultivating without a mind of male or female. Just a man is still a man, and a woman is still a woman. You cannot erase that situation. So later on, our teacher added, let the mind arise without abiding anywhere. The mind still must arise. Non-abiding here means not giving rise to discriminations, yet the mind, that is its function of knowing, remain. Well, we give an example. Green is green, white is white. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. This is clearly known. So non-abiding does not mean turning everything into a muddle. It means not being empty. It means not being tempted, disturbed, or influenced by external. Seeing a woman, you know it's a woman. Beauty is beauty. Plainness is plainness. You recognize a person, yet do not immediately think, if only you were, if only she were my wife or girlfriend, then that would be abiding, or we name it greed. Seeing money, money is money. If your eye light up and you think, if only it were mine, that is abiding. To recognize money and its amount, while the mind remain unmoved, is different. You may think, if someday this money becomes mine, it should be by proper means. If it does become yours, it should not be grabbing. It should not by grabbing it. Consider how others obtain their wealth by normal method, and you too may obtain it through proper means and effort. Don't you think? Don't see someone's fine car and house and think of instilling the car. So don't see someone's fine car and house and think of stealing the car or burning down the house because you can't live there. This is abiding. Non-abiding means not letting the environment provoke vexations, greed, anger, arrogance, and confusion, while the mind of knowing remains clear and lucid. Another example of non-attachment does not mean confusing black and white. Now, there's something happened in San Francisco where Master Shen Hua, a renowned teacher who often spoke about emptiness and urged people not to cling. One American disciple was named Kong. That meaning is constantly empty. So the master would tell him, Hong Kong, you must be empty. He took it literally. His stomach was empty, so he ate a lot. And his master said, Hong Kong, your stomach is empty. One day he defecated into a bowl, placed it on the dining table alongside his bowl of rice and a bowl of vegetables, and joined the communal meal. The nearby smelled it and alerted the attendants. Terrible, Hong Kong has brought feces to the table. The attendant scolded him. Are you crazy? Take that away. He answered without hesitation. Non-abiding. Don't be attached. Why are you attached? So Master Xuanhua heard and came personally. You may leave now. Please go. The disciple asked, Master, do you still have attachment? And Master Xuanhua said, I do, and today I'm attached to asking you to leave. Then the disciple argued, if you have attachment, how can you ask me to be without attachment? So the master replied, I'm not attached to attachment or non-attachment. I'm telling you to leave. You are mentally unwell, bringing feces to the table. The disciple was reluctant to go. So others advised him, Senior brother, haven't you non-abiding? If you are unattached, saying, staying, or leaving is the same. Why insist? Just go. He thought it over, agreed, and later he disrobed. So even seasoned practitioners can err like this. He simply hadn't understood what non-abiding means. Non-attachment does not mean inverting black and white, erasing male and female, or ignoring order and propriety. Non-attachment, non-abiding means not being swayed by condition so as to generate afflictions. The mind should not abide, yet mind is clear knowing remains. A man is still a man, a woman is still a woman. Hence, in our assemblies, we sit men and women separately. Our rules are strict, beyond male and female. There's also the clear distinction between monastic and laity. This is either. And I'm sorry, this is ethics. There remain the relationship of teacher and disciple. If non-abiding erased these, saying the teacher is not a teacher and the disciple not a disciple, that would be absurd. In Huineng's chant, samadhi and prajna are learned equally. So sequential meditation treats samadhi and prajna as separate. So this chapter is about samadhi and prajna not being separate. When wisdom functions, samadhi is present within it. When samadhi is present, wisdom functions within it. And you understand this, right? So when samadhi is present, wisdom functions within it. If you understand this, you cultivate samadhi and prajna equally. In general Buddhist circles, in many scriptures, one often hears, first enters samadhi, then wisdom arises, implying separation. Without samadhi, wisdom is hard to obtain. So in the other schools, wisdom arises after emerging from samadhi. But is samadhi itself identical with wisdom? In the sequential samadhi of the other school, there is no wisdom within the absorption. Rather, after emerging from samadhi, the mind is clearer, and then wisdom arises. Hence a triad: precept, samadhi, wisdom. Keeping precept facilitate right samadhi. From the right samadhi arises right wisdom. But their wisdom, but right wisdom must accord with right view, a correct understanding of the Dharma. So precepts lead to right samadhi. Right samadhi yields right wisdom. And right wisdom necessarily records with right view. These are linked. In the Platform Sutra, samadhi and prajna are the same thing. So in the Platform Sutra, samadhi and prajna are presented as the same phenomenon without a before and after. I repeat this. In the Platform Sutra, samadhi and prajna are presented as the same phenomenon without a before and after. One who cuts off affliction and joy and awakens, who has realized seeing one's nature and the Buddha nature, necessarily possess wisdom. This is the right wisdom. This is the right wisdom. For one with wisdom and who has severed, who has severed afflictions, the mind is not swayed by external so as to produce affliction. That is wisdom and also is samadhi. Why? Because the mind does not shake or become confusion. That is samadhi. Thus, in Chan, where there is wisdom, there is samadhi. And where there is samadhi, it is inseparable from the museum. So let's go to the other paragraph. First of all is the translation. Students of the way do not say that first there is concentration, which produces wisdom, or that first there is wisdom, which produces concentration. Do not say that the two are different. To hold this view implies a duality of Dharma. If your speech is good, but your mind is not, then concentration and wisdom are useless because they are not equal. If mind and speech are both good, the inner and outer are alike, and concentration and wisdom are equal. Self-enlightenment, cultivation, and practice are not a matter of debate. If you debate which comes first, then you are like a confused man who does not cut off ideas of victory or and defeat, but magnifies the notion of self and Dharma, and does not dissociate himself from the four marks. So that's English translation. Now a little bit clarity for the translation again. All good knowing advisors, those who learn and practice Chan meditation must possess right view. Do not say first comes samadhi, meditative concentration, and later comes wisdom, or first come wisdom and later samadhi. Treating samadhi and wisdom as two separate things. If one practices Chan with such an understanding, it is not right view because it divides Chan into two. Some people can enter samadhi, yet cannot distinguish between good and bad. Others can lecture on sutras, read scriptures, or write books, but their mind and speech are not in accord. Such people do not truly have right wisdom. Their practice does not correspond to the unity of samadhi and wisdom that we speak of. If your understanding and conduct, inner and outer, body and mind, are fully consistent and without discrepancy, and your actions are in harmony with samadhi and wisdom, then you are a genuine practitioner of Chan. Anyone who is enlightened or cultivating samadhi and wisdom must have non-contention as a fundamental condition. If one has already if one had already entered the path of practice, but keep competing, struggling, or rushing to cultivate this and that, such a mindset is deluded. Why? Because this person's mind is full of distinction between self and others, competitiveness, and pride. So why? Because this person's mind is full of distinction between self and others, com, com, competitiveness, competitiveness, and pride. These increase attachment to both the notion and self and no self. Practicing with such a mindset, one still cannot descend the four marks of self: person, sentient beings, and lifespan. So I will stop here for this moment.
Bảo